I know. Do you know who loves sweet potatoes? Lester loves sweet potatoes, and I love sweet potatoes. And we're planting some today in the garden. So let's go out, get my sweet potato slips, and get them planted so we can be enjoying our own homegrown sweet potatoes again this year. I can't wait. Can you wait? No, it's gonna be exciting. It's gonna be exciting. Yes. Hey there, Prairie Plant Girl here. Well, I'm still haven't planted my sweet potatoes, so I started late this year. So I started these trying to get them to slip. That was April 19th, I think, when I did it. And these are just my own saved sweet potatoes that I grew last year in my garden. And I set them in this container of damp vermiculite to slip. And that just means they're forming up some slips to start. Now, normally the slips would be taller, a little bit more like this one here. And you could cut them off. You can see how this one here I could take off and just peel it off of the old piece of sweet potato there. And now I have actually two pieces with roots. And so this is the kind of thing that I want to be planting. And normally they would be this size or bigger about a month ago, but I'm a little bit behind, and sweet potatoes need a long season. So here in Saskatchewan, Canada, I'm not sure how well these are going to do this year, but we're going to give it a try. This one potato gave me, it looks like 3 or 4 decent slips on it. And I have these large pots that I grew some in last year. I grew them in, I can't remember now if I had them in 1 or 2 pots last year, but I have 2 pots reserved for them this year. I have 8 of these pots altogether, and the other 6 have some potatoes planted in them, just regular potatoes, and then they all are topped with some pansies and ranunculus and anemone, just to make them look a little prettier while the plants are filling in. So the potatoes have started to fill in the other pots. This is just a potted potato on the ground behind me here, but this pot and the one right behind it are both waiting for their sweet potatoes. So let's get these planted, and hopefully, being that it's, early June, hopefully before the frost takes these plants, I can get some sweet potatoes down in the bottom of these huge pots. So I'll give you a look at the pots. They're really big. They're old boulevard pots from my city, and I just bought them on auction when they were replaced, and they're quite large. I think there's something like 75 centimeters by 75 centimeters, kind of up and across, which is about 2.5 feet in either direction. They hold quite a bit, and they do well with crops like this. So I'm going to start in this pot that was right behind me here when we were talking, and I'm just going to try and get a couple of slips into this pot. So let's see how many I have, so I can divide them up between the two pots. I have 2 here that I pulled off. I don't want to keep them out too long. It is a warm day. I'm wondering. So I have this one here. Let's see if I can, usually you can just kind of give them a little twist and they kind of pop off. I don't know, you probably only could see my hand there. Let's see, that one didn't get any roots with it, it doesn't look like. Let's see what this one does. Just kind of give it a little twist. Did bring a knife if I need one. Oh, there it goes. And then it came with the roots. So that's 3 with roots. I might just plant this piece of sweet potato. I'm sure it'll grow and give me some more leaves and things off of it like that. And then I have another one like this that's started to grow roots off the sweet potato, but it hasn't given me very good shoots. Normally you could take these shoots when they get a bit larger, put them in water even if they don't have roots, and they'll root that way. But I think what I'm going to do, since this has shoots coming in a few different spots, I'm actually going to just cut it in half. We'll let this sit while I'm working on some other spots to kind of dry off, callus off a little bit, and then I'll just plant those. And the same thing with this one. So this is only my 2nd year growing sweet potatoes, so I'm not an expert, but I think that should work well. So I have quite a few chunks here. This is just a nice little piece again with some shoots. So I think I'll take these that are shooting and put them in the pots And then I'll take some that definitely have roots and do that as well. So I'm spreading them out between the two pots. So we'll put 1, 2 with leaves and roots. We'll take this. We'll put this one that's just a piece of sweet potato with roots growing in here. And this is this piece of sweet potato with some shoots coming on it. That gives me 4. 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll do one more chunk like this, and then that leaves me about 5 or 6 left in the bucket for the other pot. It's gonna be a little bit tricky to work in here because I do have the pansies and the anemones in here, but we'll get these planted in amongst them. And the pansies and the anemones will be done shortly here as it starts to heat up. We've had a nice cool spring, so they've been going quite strong for me for the last month, but when the heat hits, these plants are all gonna not enjoy it and they'll kind of fizzle away. Look at these frizzle sizzle pansies though, aren't those fun? Those ruffled edges. So what I want to do is put some bone meal in here. So I'm just going to sprinkle some bone meal around in this pot. And just kind of try and gently work it in a little bit around these other plants. So I worked some bone meal in, and I'm going to try and get these guys with the roots going. So we'll take this, the strongest plant here, put it in the center, and then I have another one with leaves. Where did it go? Here it is. So try and stick this over here. So I just want to get these roots down in the ground. And then these guys, now this guy has kind of a rotten end on it, so I'm going to cut that back. So we'll leave this for a minute in the sun to harden off a little bit. And then we'll just take one of these guys here, go back in this area, and I'm just going to kind of lay it in and cover it over. People warned me when I harvested my sweet potatoes last year that any little pieces that I left behind in the soil would come back and grow in the spring. And if I didn't want them in these pots, I better make sure I got them cleaned out. So I'm pretty confident that those pieces will come and grow. Now here in Saskatchewan, Canada, no, they didn't come back because it's just too cold here in the winter. It just freezes everything till all the cells explode and they rot. Sweet potatoes are not made for this climate. They're not going to overwinter and come back for me. But being that so many people were concerned about that happening, I am quite certain these little pieces will grow for me. So I didn't really wait very long for this one to callus over, but stick the roots in there. Maybe just keep that part up a little bit. I don't know if you can see that. I just kind of left it sticking up a little bit. So there's 1 with leaves, 2 with leaves, and they should fill in nicely. Now we need to go to this pot back here and plant the rest up. I just love that I put these flowers in these pots, because even here, see this one here, has potato plants coming up in it, but it's so full looking with all the flowers blooming. It's been really nice while I wait for the potatoes to get big and full and make these pots look like they're growing something, to have these beautiful flowers to enjoy. And it'll make it easy to pull up the corms for the ranunculus and anemone that are in here too. So I'm going to do the exact same thing in this one and just sprinkle a little bit of bone meal and work it in. And now we'll get these planted. So we have this one with a root on it. And again, I'll just stick the rooted one right in the center. Let it spread those roots down. And then we'll just take these other pieces and we'll just kind of bury them around the perimeter, not very deep, because I want them to be able to push those sprouts out. Not sure. Did we put one back here? Let's stick one back in this pot back here. So now I have all those sweet potatoes planted. It was nice to see that other than a couple of tubers, they all got a few shoots and roots going on them. I was a little bit late getting them started this year. I didn't have them on my planting schedule for some reason, so they got left behind. They're in the ground now. Hopefully we're gonna finally start getting some warm weather. It's been really cool around here in Saskatchewan, and not a lot has been growing very vigorously yet, but it's supposed to start getting hotter now, so hopefully they will, because the sweet potatoes want lots of heat, they want lots of sunshine, and they want, they're pretty heavy feeders. So these big pots, I can control all of that in here, and hopefully I'll be able to get a nice big harvest of sweet potatoes again this year, just like I did last year, before the frost takes them out. So I'll keep you updated on how the plants are doing. Last year, some of them even flowered for me, which is really pretty. And if you like sweet potatoes, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. We'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye. You just want to sit on me? You just want to sit on me? Yeah.